I am Tim, and this is Selfless Awakening, where I like to ground all of this self-help stuff, this mindfulness stuff, this metaphysical stuff, and today I am doing day 28 of my 30 Days of Awakening series, and today this video is directed to those of you out there that feel you maybe have compulsive issues, addiction issues, things like that. Or you think you are straight up a full-blown addict. So if you have addiction issues or anything like that, this video is for you. And what this video is about the idea of getting high. And as for an addict, for someone who has addictive tendencies, the idea, it's almost like you have to, it can become easy for us, because I certainly have addictive tendencies and addictive behaviors that in the past have been a part of my life. I can say it can become very easy for people with addictive tendencies to start shaming themselves for this desire to get high. And what I want to talk about is my take on this, my take on the idea of getting high and what actually getting high means, and my encouragement to get high all the time. It's about getting high the right way. It's about getting high in ways that are actually not shortening your life, that are making you a more functional person, that are making you happier. Like, this is super important, you know? And hello, welcome to those of you that are joining the conversation. I'm doing a video, a live chat on Instagram, and I'm also doing a video here on YouTube for the YouTube channel. So today we're talking about addiction and getting high. And here's the thing. I want to talk first about what I mean by getting high and exactly break down from an experiential state what getting high means. Then I want to talk about how sometimes we think we're getting high, but we're actually just numbing. I want to talk a little bit about that. And then I want to talk about the ways that I like to get high in healthy ways, okay? So here we go. This idea of getting high, if you think about, this is how I like to think about getting high. There's a physical component to it, and there's a mental component to it. Think about it like this. Like, imagine you just got off of a roller coaster. You just got off of your favorite roller coaster, and you're coming off of it, and you're with your friends, and you're like, whoa, that was amazing, and you just feel so excited. Your thoughts are fun and playful. You've got the thoughts of a child. Your body's buzzing and tingling from the brain chemistry change in the excitement of it, and you literally have a body chemical high happening, and the voice in your head has changed its tone. Your voice in your head has gone from maybe being heavy or low or negative to playful and light like a child. That's what I call being high. So it's literally a state where you feel joyful and playful and light. And if you notice, for those of you that have had addiction issues in the past, if it's drinking or if it's doing drugs or heavier drugs, you're chasing that state of being with the drug. Okay? The only problem is, if you're not present, what happens is the chasing of the high with the drug ends up becoming a compulsive thing. And what happens to a lot of people who try to get high with hard drugs is they may feel that euphoric feeling for a second, and then they go into an obsessive compulsive thinking, which takes them out of being high anyway. So basically, this idea of being high is about, it is about how you get to the state of being high, meaning that you don't do it in ways that are going to hurt you, make you be harmful to others, shorten your life. But you find the ways to get high, it's really more about you creating that voice in the head that's playful, and it's about you getting to a place where your body is releasing and doing all that serotonin, all that reward, like that joyful, buzzy feeling. Like, that's the goal when we get high. So how can we do this? How can we do this in a way that we're not numbing ourselves, that we're not confusing getting high with numbing? And like, how do we get ourselves into this joyful, playful state? Hello, welcome, good to see you all. So here's the idea. Here's some things I like to do to get high that don't shorten my life. Number one, I like to dance. I notice that every time that I dance, if I put on some music and I'm in my kitchen or I'm out at a club or I'm at a party with no drugs or no alcohol or anything, but if I just dance, if I just start moving, if I can get into a groove, I notice that that high thing that drugs can give me, I notice that I can get that just through dancing. And I notice that it's the same exact state of being. And what's really cool about it is what comes with it is a continued state of being. It's not like you get high on something or you do 5 shots and then you're like, whoa, I'm fucked up, and then you're off on some unconscious thinking. When you're dancing, you can just tap into the sensation and just hold yourself there because it's not pulling your consciousness under. When you get too drunk or when you get caught on these drugs that are really dangerous, you're not moving into that. You're not actually getting high. You're numbing. You're taking your awareness and your presence and your intelligence and you're making it less. When you get high in healthy ways, you actually get smarter. You actually have more genius ideas. And so that's one way to really tell if you're getting high in the right ways, you know? And so things like, there's so many things I do in my life that get me high, and I like to get high all day long. I'm constantly trying to get high the next way because I know in me I have addictive tendencies from my past programming. I came up from a family of a whole bunch of people with serious addiction issues, and I've had my run-in with things in the past where I've overdone drinking. Like I went through a phase where I really was drinking when I was younger. My first egoic collapse, I was using drinking as a way to try to numb myself because I was in so much pain. I hated myself, and I could try to get away from the pain by drinking. And I noticed that was real compulsive spinning behavior. And so for me, the only way to feel good was to step away from that reward, that try to make me feel good thing altogether, and stop drinking and really focus on going inward and learning and understanding why I was using drinking to numb myself and take myself unconscious, and also how to flip it and get to a place where I'm able to step back and not only not drink compulsively, but not do anything compulsively. Because the thing about addiction energy, this feeling of trying to fill a hole, is that if it will keep moving around. Like if you have an eating disorder or eating problem and you just can't stop eating and you go cold turkey and you stop it, sometimes you can sort of get some moments of clarity, but a lot of times that energy will just try to find a new place. Maybe you'll become an obsessive workaholic. Maybe you'll take that energy and channel it into hyper focusing on your kids and driving them crazy. Or maybe it'll make you start doing other drugs. You know, it's like this energy, this compulsive energy inside of us that's trying to fill a hole and do it in this numbing sort of, I want to go under consciousness as opposed to elevate my consciousness. This kind of use of getting high is not actually getting high. That's getting low. Okay? Because when you get high the right way, you get smarter. It doesn't cost your body. You don't feel like I got high and now I've got to recover from it. Like that's not what getting high is about. And so there are lots of activities and lots of behaviors out there that we can do to get high that don't have that coming down, that don't have that crash. You can throughout the day, when you've really lined up yourself to understand the ways that you can get high in healthy ways, you can ride them all day long. For me, meditating, deep inner body awareness meditation, I get so high. I can't tell you how high I get. Just sitting there with nothing in my system, I'm not doing anything at all. I'm just sitting there meditating for 30, 40 minutes, concentrating. I feel that pressure on my inner forehead. I feel the expansive head feeling. I feel that inner buzz that keeps glowing and intensifying more and more. And by the end of that, the voice in my head has changed. It's lighter, it's more joyful, it's high, my body's tingling. I feel crazy high. Then I come inside, I eat some nice healthy food, I still feel high. Then I go on the elliptical, or I go for a run. I got this high from the meditating in the morning, and then I go for a run, and I'm running, and I'm like, shit, I feel even higher than that, even more of a buzz, even more euphoric, even more grateful. Like then I can get high like that. Then if I came home, and for me, one of the other ways I like to get high is I work on music. I work on music, and I'll go and I'll produce music, and then somewhere along the way something will click, and all of a sudden I feel elevated to a whole nother level of that playful, joyful, giddy place, right? And then I can do some stretching and do some yoga and things like that. I also get high watching videos, like I'll put on an Abraham Hicks video, an Eckhart Tolle video. I'll watch some stimulating metaphysical things, and then I feel myself getting even more and more lifted. So it's a cumulative thing. It's like you can get higher and higher and higher all day long just by knowing what getting high actually means. Getting high is not detaching from your life. Getting high is not numbing yourself because your life sucks and it's painful. Getting high is getting yourself into a state where you feel good in your body. You feel joyful in your body. You feel like the voice in your head is playful. It's playful. Like, that's what getting high is all about. And there are, so that's the idea of getting high. The idea of getting high is understanding how to get high. And as far as the drug side of it, okay? I don't want to get too far into it, and I don't want to encourage if there are any addicts out there that are looking for this loophole for me to say, go do the drug that was, that messed up your life. I'm not encouraging that at all. I can say there are some times where people have developed such deep patterns of abusing substances that they shouldn't return back to it anymore, because the patterns are so strong that you just can't break out of it once you start. And if you're the kind of person that you feel like if you were to have a drink and you think that's going to take you out on a bender and you're going to disappear for 2 weeks, don't use that as your way to get high. Even though there are some people out there that can go out to a bar with friends and have one drink and have a great time, and it feels like that drink was kind of a nice little feeling, not too much, not too little, even though you'll find people say that drinking is always something that takes you under. I don't necessarily think that's true if you don't abuse it. Like, some people can have a glass of wine and feel a euphoric, like a woo, but then they don't drink 4 or 5. There are other people that can vape, like can vape marijuana, and they can have a little bit here and there, and they can get to a place where they feel that body buzz. They can feel that inner voice is light and playful, and they can do it here and there without it being something that becomes a compulsive, repetitive behavior or something that takes over their lives or causes unhealthiness to them. So, but you have to understand yourself. You have to understand yourself, the ways that you are, are there some things that you do that you think you do to get high, but really what happens is they make you feel bad and you beat yourself up for that? Like, that's something you really need to look at. So this idea of getting high, let's just bring it back to what it is, just to wrap this up, okay? It's this idea of 2 things. Feeling that chemical release in your body of, I am happy, I am joyful. The brain, I'm not a neurologist, but like the brain chemistry, the serotonins, whatever the release happens in your brain when you feel that, oh, that feels so good. Like, I'm so happy. I feel great. I feel wonderful. Like, whatever that chemical feeling is that happens in your body, that's one part of being high. The other part of being high is the shift in the voice in the head. The voice in the head literally starts saying different things. It starts having genius ideas. That's when you know you're actually high, is when you're having, oh shit, that's an amazing idea. What are you for? Hello, hi, nice to see you. It's like you're having these like genius ideas come in your mind. That's what actually getting high is. So if you notice you're doing things that you think are getting you high, but you're feeling stupider than smarter, you're not getting high. You're not actually high. And you'll notice that's, for me, I have on my phone this list of, I have this note of all of these insights that I call them. And with the insights, they're basically just ideas, usually ideas for videos or ideas for metaphysical concepts that I'd like to share about, that just pop in my head. And they pop in my head when I'm high. They don't pop in my head when I'm numbing myself, they pop in my head when I'm high, which is usually after me meditating, or after me going for a run, or after me doing these videos. Like, these videos, they make me high. Like, I feel a buzz right now in my body because I'm excited about talking about this stuff. I love talking about mindfulness, metaphysical stuff, ways to be of service to others. Like, that's a huge joy for me. So I literally get high from these videos. And I just want to say, think about that. Like, it's so important to not try to, it's so important to get high. And especially if you feel you have addiction issues, super okay to get high. It's just, you need to not get high in ways that are hurting you anymore, and get high in ways that are making you feel, ways that don't cost you anything, that add to you, that add to your intelligence, that add to your health, that add to your longevity as a human being. And that's your big job, is like that. If that's the one thing I would say that you want to fill the hole with, is like, if you feel you have a hole in you and you just were doing heavy drugs, like you were really, and now you're maybe in a program and you're working through the step work or something like that, don't be afraid of getting high. Don't be afraid of your desire to get high. It's okay to get high, but get high through going to comedy, get high through dancing, get high through having great, deep metaphysical talks, get high through listening to music, get high through exercising, get high through eating better food, get high through doing a lot of deep breathing. Get as high as you want, aim for being high. Don't be afraid with wanting to feel good all the time. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel good all the time. And we have so much control, more control than we think, to make ourselves feel good. And that's all I think feeling high and getting high is all about. It's about your body feeling good and the voice in your head being like, fuck yeah. Like, that's what feeling high, that's what getting high is all about. So don't be afraid if you have addiction issues and you have to give up some addiction. Don't be afraid of wanting to be high. Want to be high. Be high. But be high in a way that makes you feel good and doesn't make you feel like shit after. Like, that's the big lesson. So that's the big thing. So I think I've said everything I have to say about that for today. So good to see you all. If you want to catch the full video, I'll post it here on the Instagram, and also I'll put it up on the YouTube channel, Selfless Awakening. The link is in my description. This is day 28 of 30 Days of Awakening. Hey addicts, it's okay to want to get high. That's what this video is about, okay? Have a beautiful day. Cheers. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.